host, Larry Hers, and today in studio I have Mick from Saucí Living. Woo woo! So I'm a sauce guy. I don't understand people who don't put sauce on things.
Love to hear it.
Sauce makes everything better. Give me a little history of you and Saucy.
Me and Saucy. So I don't have a background really in food. I did do some professional work in food when I was young, like a prep cook type of stuff in a Hilton. I worked for a caterer, which was really wonderful. They did a lot of high-end stuff, but that was decades ago. I did spend most of my life traveling. That was my main focus. I kind of shirked, most of the usual job kind of focus, and I spent most of my energy traveling and going on adventures, climbing, all different kinds of adventures too. And it took me to a lot of places. I think 42 countries I've been to, many repeats. And I just love to cook. So those two things kind of combined. I've done a lot of different kind of work, but I got to a point where I felt like I was just really into those are the things I loved, and I kept trying to be doing other stuff. And so I fell into making sauce. I just felt like sauce, I love the culture. I love meeting people and sort of meeting them over their food and their dinner table. And sauce to me was like this concentration of the culture and the people and what they like and what the terrain is like.
When did it start, and what was the first product you started with?
2018 is kind of the official start. Probably for about a year before that, or maybe 9 months before that, I was like fiddling around. But the idea came to me because I was just having some friends for dinner one night. I had planned to have romesco with I don't even remember what I was making. Maybe it was chicken, maybe it was steak or something. But I hadn't made it yet, and I'm sort of a purist, so I roast my own peppers, do the tomatoes and all that stuff. That takes time, and I didn't have the time. It was a Sunday. I was sort of like, I got to find some, And so I started looking. Of course, you can't find it. And even online, I just expanded the search going, it's over for tonight, but let me see if I can find it just for the future. Couldn't find it anywhere at the time. And that just made me think, like, this is nuts. If people knew how good this was, and thinking ahead, if they knew all these other sauces that I knew from these adventures, I think they'd want it. Okay. And I think it felt like a gap to me. So romesco started it.
Dude, if only you could smell this. So at my restaurant, I had a restaurant called 730 South, and absolutely we would make romesco all the time for specials. And you could put it on anything. You put on pork, lamb, chicken, steak. It's great with so many fishes, like with swordfish. So good. And so tell them what's in a romesco.
So in basics, like broad strokes, red pepper. I believe red pepper should be in all romescos. I found some without it, which
I didn't think it could be.
It's ridiculous. So red pepper's main ingredient. I do have some tomatoes in there, not many. I think the red pepper's the most important thing. Paprika seems pretty important to me. Smoked paprika, I like to get the real smoked stuff. It adds a nice extra layer. Almonds, important. Garlic. So mine is basically red pepper, tomato, garlic, lots of olive oil, almonds, paprika. I use a little bit of chili de árbol.
And almonds are the key to it, and it's a Spanish sauce, right?
Yeah, Catalonian.
So in theory, they should be Spanish almonds, but...
Yeah, the Marcona would be nice.
Marcona.
They do cost a fortune.
I
do use blanched.
You can see how beautiful that
In the very beginning, I blanched them myself, which, as you can imagine, was ridiculous because you steam them, you sort of boil them for a minute, and then you're literally squeezing each nut by hand.
Okay.
So.
What was the next sauce?
So the Peruvian sauce came next. So that's an ají verde. This one, yep.
Okay.
I have spent a lot of time in Peru. 25 years. I spent, I think, 13 expeditions to go alpine climbing there. Lots of friends, lots of sort of people I know, and time spent there. After I started the romesco, I wanted to find something that would, complement it, like color-wise, taste-wise, all that stuff. So the romesco's got this kind of nutty, earthy, smoky flavor a bit, right, with the roasted peppers and all that. I wanted something. I was playing around with brighter things, cilantro, such. And after like a week or so of that, I sort of stopped sitting on the couch and I was like, wait a minute, like I'm essentially making this beautiful green ají verde sauce that you get in the restaurants, like it's always on the table in Peru. And I was like, that's another one. It's one of these things people don't know about, but if they did,
No,
they would love
I'm
it.
not aware of it. It
And
kind of
so-
looks like a salsa verde, but
Yeah, I get that all the people say, oh, look, it's a salsa verde. I do think of salsa verde usually as more of like this tomatillo kind of thing. And so this is, but the Peruvian sauce, that's, it's cilantro based. I use jalapenos. I use the ají amarillo, which is a Peruvian pepper, very hard to get. Then it's got citrus in there. And the big twist for me is that I use...
it says with a twist.
With
So
a
it does-
twist. Yeah, a couple too. I mean, one is I added ginger. I just thought that would be good. They wouldn't put ginger in Peru probably, although they actually sell a lot of the ginger we get. Originally, I had to use. They would use mayo as the base in Peru, which is nice. It definitely tastes great. But I was making it before I started selling it. I had some friends, dinner party. They were like, two of them were dairy free. I was using yogurt actually or mayo. I was kind of playing around. I said, you know what? I think I can do it with this almond base. So I do like a blended up almond oil kind of emulsion, olive oil again. So it's dairy. They're all gluten free, dairy free, vegan.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this seems like a versatile sauce too. You can put on anything.
Super versatile. Yeah. It makes. Yeah. I mean, my go-to for that one is salmon. I like to put salt, pepper. I put paprika, maybe cumin, garlic powder on the salmon, then you grill it. That's nice because it's bright. It sort of like complements all those flavors. So in the first year I had these two, and then I felt like I needed to start adding. So last year is my second year of kind of doing markets and things. I was like, what's the next one going to be? I have this geographic thing going, as you can tell. So I had this. There's this Spanish sauce. The Peruvian is a South American sauce. I thought maybe it'd be a good time to add an Asian style, Asian flavor sauce.
Sure.
That was born out of an old New York Times recipe, David Chang. Very different, but there was a recipe, pork recipe with a sauce that had ginger and scallion and oil, basically. It was very simple, but it was super delicious. I had made that for some big family gatherings and things, and people were going nuts. And I thought those flavors are going to do it, but I just couldn't see putting that in a jar. So I built this one up from scratch. So that's like it's ginger and scallion. I use sesame oil, coconut aminos as a kind of a soy substitute, soy sauce substitute. I put a little orange zest in there, and that one uses a cashew base to give it some creaminess. So it fits in with the others in that way.
Is this another one that you can put on anything?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, they're all really versatile. That one, my go-tos with that maybe is like, obviously stir fries are great. I know some people tell me that they love to just mix it in with their rice, no matter what they're putting. Noodles, of course. I've done like the forbidden rice noodles are nice because there's like those dark purple, noodles. Another thing, I put in a batch of mashed potatoes once.
Couldn't hurt.
Really great, yeah.
Really, you could put any of these in mashed potatoes.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
So then this year, I again wanted to add a new one. I don't know if I'll be rolling these out every year, but at least I got to 4, which seemed like a nice number. This, I had spent some time many years ago in Eastern and Southern Africa. So Mozambique and South Africa, they have this piri-piri sauce, sometimes spelled with peri-peri, but same thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people know Nando's. That's like a chicken chain that has piri-piri sauce. They do piri-piri chicken. They do sell it. I've seen the bottles around locally. It's a bottled thing. Mine are all fresh. I just thought it'd be nice. Besides, I wanted to add a new geographic region. I knew that sauce would be a winner. People had asked me over the years to do something spicier than these. And I thought, now that I've got 3 that are very sort of accessible.
So this has got some heat to it?
So that one's got more heat.
Okay.
So the piri-piri, obviously it looks a lot like the romesco.
Mm-hmm.
They do taste really different. The piri-piri you're going to get, first you get like lemon herbs. It's got lemon juice in there. There's oregano, cilantro, some different herbs. It does have all the red pepper.
Okay.
There's some tomato paste, but there's more probably even roasted red peppers in that. But I use bird's eye chilies in there. That one's got no nuts, which was a nice thing too. So a lot of people obviously can't eat nuts and things. So that hit a lot of the check boxes. It's actually only been about 6 weeks since I launched the piri-piri, and it's quickly taken off.
Okay, now the question everybody has: where can they get your sauces?
So I make them. I live and make them in Boulder, but we actually do markets more frequently in Denver right now. So we have City Park on Saturdays. We have South Pearl and Highlands on Sundays. I am in the Boulder Wednesday afternoon market every week. Those are all the weekly markets. And then as a guest, which means I pop up about every month or so, Boulder, Longmont, Union Station, which is kind of another Denver market that's been nice. I do sell it at Ruby's Market, which is in the block of the South Pearl Street market.
Can they buy them online?
As of last night.
Really?
Yeah, it's been one of those. I do web development besides, or have done it in the past, and even for me, it was sort of like getting this right because they're all fresh, right? I got to ship them cold. They got to stay cold. I can't let them be sitting out on on a truck for 3 days or whatever. So I refused to use styrofoam, so I got these eco-friendly insulation kits made for my boxes. Had to choose a box size, find out the best way to ship it. Bottom line is I got it wired up yesterday. You're not going to want to ship one jar. Let's face it,
okay.
With shipping costs and all that. But you could fit between 1 and 8 jars in any of these boxes, and I'll send them out. Chilled, you should have it in 2.5 days, depending where you are. It might be sooner. That's probably at the farthest reaches of the country.
Excuse me, I'm not leaving you, but I'm getting a spoon.
Perfect.
I've got to try some. Yeah, maybe 4. All right, back. Anything else before we go?
I'm gonna leave it to I want you to see what you experience.
What should I try first?
I do it at the markets. I don't know why. Maybe just because of how it's evolved. This is the order.
That's what I was gonna do.
I do it like a wine flight, and we could argue about how that should go. We're not going necessarily from the lightest white to the darkest red, but I'll tell you why I think it works this way.
We are not going to have what's for lunch today. I'm going out for lunch. Sorry. You'll have to buy your own lunch, Caitlin. We'll be back at What's for Lunch and Local Biz Buzz next week. Everybody have a great weekend. I'm going to try this romesco. I love romesco. Let's eat. You can put that on bread. Ooh.
Eggs. I put it on my omelets almost every day.
It does have a teeny bit of heat to it.
Yeah. That's from the chili de arbol I use in there. Yeah.
Was that Joe knocking on the door?